which is actually to motivate one another and also to check out the weather forecast for today, so you can know how to move, probably how to dress if you're still in the house before stepping out, or whether or not to take your shower cap or your umbrella going out this morning, because I mean we are now deeply into the raining season. Just in case you didn't get the memo yesterday, it rained like twice over here, and basically, so right now it is about 24 degrees Celsius, and it is going to keep rising. Temperature is going to be rising to peak at 29 degrees Celsius later this afternoon. Now that is the peak temperature for today, so you might want to keep that in mind, because the lowest point will be 23 degrees Celsius, while the highest temperature is actually set at 29 degrees Celsius, which is later this afternoon. So that is equals to the fact that it is going to rain. There's an 80% chance of rainfall today. Yeah, so rain is actually predicted to start around 3 p.m. till about 7 p.m. Later today. So it's going to be a lot. I reckon it is going to be a lot. So yeah, basically it might rain and it might not rain, because all of this weather forecasting, it depends on the wind and everything. It might rain before the set time, but just know 80% chance of rainfall. So it's going to probably rain later in the night as well, till midnight into tomorrow actually. Okay, so that is the weather forecast for today. Strap up, yes, go home early if you can, to avoid all the mess and everything, because it might rain in the afternoon into the evening, and again at night into midnight. That is a lot, but hey, it's still prediction, right? All right, now let's check out the motivation quote for today, and it says, even the greatest was once a beginner. I'll take that again. Even the greatest was once a beginner. And this means that everyone, no matter how skilled, no matter how skilled, no matter how good, no matter how experienced, or how many how much knowledge that a person have in a particular field or activity, it emphasizes that it is normal and necessary to begin as a novice. All right, so someone said a very long time ago that the problem with our generation mostly is because nobody wants to be seen starting small. Or we all want to start big. We all want to be known as that influential person, or maybe someone that is really knowledgeable. But the fun thing is that days of little beginnings are really, really crucial. Whatever it is that you're building, days of small beginnings are very, very crucial in your growth. All right, so it emphasizes that it is normal and necessary to begin as a novice, and that with dedication, practice, and perseverance, one can achieve mastery or greatness. Now, this quote is often attributed to our very Muhammad Ali, and encourages people not to be afraid to take the first step and start something new, and even if they feel inadequate at the beginning. So now let's break it down. Everyone starts somewhere, right? No one is born an expert. No one knows it all from the day they come into this world. That is one thing I want you to know. And each individual and every successful individuals had to learn the basics and build their skills over time. Another one is that progress requires a beginning. You can't become great without taking the initial step of becoming a beginner. This means acknowledging that you are starting from scratch and being willing to learn. All right, so don't let fear hold you back. That is another thing that has actually caused a lot of rancor on social media, because a particular pastor actually said fear is actually predominantly existing in the Yoruba tribe, and everyone actually took offense in that. But the quote encourages people to overcome this said fear, whether it's tribal or not, or personal. It actually encourages individuals to actually conquer the fear of being a beginner, because it can actually be a major obstacle for you. So the quote encourages people to overcome the fear and embrace the journey of learning and improvement. Another one is that dedication and practice are very, very crucial. So while everyone starts as a beginner, it is consistent effort, dedication, and practice that lead to expertise and eventually greatness. Okay, another one is learning from your mistake. Becoming an expert also involves making mistakes and learning from them. This process of trial and error is a natural part of the learning process. The quote serves as a reminder that success is not an overnight achievement, but a gradual process that begins with the courage to start even as a beginner. Okay, so the quote for today, do not forget, is even the greatest was once a beginner. Even the greatest was once a beginner. Okay, so basically I'm headed back to the music, and by 8:10 we check out the front pages of various Nigerian dailies. But in the meantime, here's A7S, David Guetta, and Wizkid, brand new joint, Doing Lighter. Stick around, don't go anywhere.
Baby, you came in the right time, sitting on me. I did not know what it feels like, taking my mind on a wild ride. I'm in for a lifetime for sure. You make me feel like that. You got control of me when I go deep in your water. Don't need a body. No, you can do what you want. There was a life of the party, and you can tell that there's no doubt the way I feel about you now. Say whoa, anytime, any place, I'll be there for you, baby, no. And if you need some space, I'll give it to you like my soul. I love how you taste, all your curves and shades, and all of you. Baby, you came in the right time, sitting on me, drinking white wine, taking me places I ain't been before. You make me feel like that. I did not know what it feels like, taking my mind on a wild ride. I'm in for a lifetime for sure. You make me feel like that. Like your banjo, give me dance up. Love you in 1,000 words. Now you be the party Kamajo. Give me dance up. I know go use you play. Give me love and affection. You want it more fair, no? You want it more fair, gone. And if I lose you, I lose a piece of me. I will never let you go. Say whoa, anytime, any place, I'll be there for you, baby, no. And if you need some space, I'll give it to you like my soul. I love how you taste, all your curves and shades, and all of you. Baby, you came in the right time, sitting on me, drinking white wine, taking me places I ain't been before. You make me feel like that. I did not know what it feels like, taking my mind on a wild ride. I'm in for a lifetime for sure. You make me feel like that.
Alright, A7S, David Guetta and Wizkid on that one. Lighter is the title of the song. Alright, we're back to it. 8:13 from the studios. That is 13 minutes past 8 a.m. from the studios of Melody 100.7 FM. My name is Bolabad, and you are now live on Melody Sunrise. Okay, so we are about to go through the front pages of various Nigerian dailies, and this morning, per usual, I have the Punch newspaper, I have the Guardian newspaper, the Nigerian Tribune, and Vanguard newspaper this morning. All right, so we'll kick off with the Nigerian Tribune this morning and check out the first headline. And this one reads, controversy trails Ondo government's planned inquest into Akeredolu's death. I'll take that again. Controversy trails Ondo government's planned inquest into Akeredolu's death. And that story is on page 15 of the Punch newspaper this very morning. Atiku, David Mark, Tambuwal, Lamido, others want PDP collapsed into coalition. The story has a writer attached to it, says party now a shadow of itself. The story can be found on page 21 of Nigerian Tribune this very morning, and the rest of the front page is dedicated to the president commissioning Ushafa Buhari area council roads in the FCT today. Okay, now let's move on to the Punch newspaper this morning, and the first headline says marketers snub Dangote's price cut, retain high fuel costs, and that story can be found on page 34 of the Punch newspaper this very morning. Okay, now moving on from that, there is 2027 crossfire. That is the kicker of this next headline. APC strikes back after Mark Lamido slam Tinubu government, and that story has a writer attached to it. Opposition alliance gains steam as Atiku coalition, ex-PDP governors veteran join Mark block. All of that can be found on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this very morning, and the rest of the front page is dedicated to the commemoration or commissioning of the president commissioning Ushafa Buhari area council road in the FCT today. Okay, so moving on from the Punch newspaper to Vanguard newspaper this morning, and the first headline reads oil production. That is the kicker of this first headline on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Federal government to withdraw license of firms with dormant oil fields, and that story can be found on page 19 of Vanguard newspaper this morning. Another headline on the front page, worsening abductions, killings, Boko Haram's renewed attacks, others alarming, and that statement is credited to Sultan's JNI, and that story can be found on page 5 of Vanguard newspaper this morning. And the rest of the front page once again is dedicated to the president commissioning Ushafa Buhari area council roads today in the Federal Capital Territory. Now moving on to the Guardian newspaper this morning, the first and biggest headline on the front page reads 2027. That is the kicker. Northern PDP leaders settle on ADC as preferred coalition platform, and that story can be found on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this very morning. All right, now moving on to another headline, and this one says Obi flays St. Lucia's highest honor knight commander title on Tinubu, and that story can be found on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Reps ticket may cost 500 million. Post-election litigation, 1 billion naira. And that story can be found on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper this very morning. Ondo government quest to probe Akeredolu's death sparks controversy. That story can be found on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper this very morning. Rivers, Lagos worst hit as court clashes claim 1,686 lives in 5 years. The story can be found on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. To another headline, a mockery places 3 million naira bounty on ex-users threatening Obi's wife, children, and that story can be found on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Operators demand tariff increase to stave off 6 trillion naira gas debt, and that story can be found on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And the final headline reads The Guardian relaunches Guardian Angels, and that story can be found on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper this very morning. It is 19 minutes past 8 a.m. and this is Melody Sunrise on Melody 100.7 FM. It is back to the music because this is as far as we can take on the front pages of the Nigerian dailies. Alright, so I'll be heading back to the music, and this one is Brimo doing Market Square. Stick around, don't go anywhere.
Kangaroos go slash the wheels are two. To hold the person back, you go stay back to make sure. To hold the person down, you go stay down to make sure. You order one kind, a prisoner too. Oh. Now why for these people low? They burn the band down, say now destroy them. Now why for you people low? I dey go Market Square, I go get justice for there. A passion strong, my reason clean. Naki for do this proper. To take your person job, you go there to work out. If you don't know yourself, you know if you talk, say you clever. Everybody don't gather around for Market Square. Reproach they come with your mama karma and sister bounty. Everybody don't sit around for Market Square. I dey go there, you hear? My matter, they for air. Plenty wow for you people low. They burn the band down, say I me, cause I'm now why for those people low. I dey go Market Square, I go get justice for there. Everything green for me, for you. The people who start the fire and them for custom. Now why for those people? I just returned from Market Square, and me on bounty for ya.
Melody FM 100.7.
Move it. So many don't go confess what I don't see in it. I'm not sure tobacco while I'm in my ashes. Yeah, that's the words they got forbid my door. Some loco, Maria, community, my mother. If it cost me, Europe, I read up and I'm anti-photo. I find a love, I got that, and me make time a love. Look down, commando, look on the man, commando,
Here's some of the biggest record I'll do is on metal. Bolabad. You pull the streamliner, and away you go to a dozen cabinets.
Do you need a lift or what? Something back or something better to make me lose it. Shake it in my mind, speaking down, cause your body what it. Sacramentally speaking, you're Punakanda does it. What is this madness? Stop the minute. Jamaica, Maria, Dominity, my door. If you cost me, I will do Beno Amanda for you. I find a love. Why you got there telling me, make I mellow? Look at the commando, look at the money, commando,
Melody 100.7 FM Ibadan. Stay cool with Melody.
Enter your secret number. Identifying
100.7.
Access granted.
Let's go.
You're about to witness entertainment, experience, and desire to rock a party like no other. Mind-blowing sound. Ladies and gentlemen, the party starts now.
Melody 100.7 FM.
don't forget. Maybe you don't forget. Pushing me go, you calling me vanilla. Too late to cry, was our last in the mask. Only man die, not only man bury him. You left the star and the chandelier. Pushing me go, you calling me vanilla. Too late to cry, was our last in the mask. Only man die, not only man bury him. You left the star and the chandelier. Pushing me go, you calling me vanilla. Too late to cry, was our last in the mask. Only man die, not only man bury him. You left the star and the chandelier. Paradise, rocky. You know you connect it just like coffins. Just because say you don't see I'm well, tell me say make you look I'm less. When I text you, you reply emoji. If I take my space, you no give notice. When I jam on rock, I no see Moses. I try water plenty. Everything on a blessing. You see, I saw it like all my love for. Everything on a blessing. I saw the black on my love for. Push you go, you calling me vanilla. Too late to cry, was our last in the mask. Only man die, not only man bury him. You left the star and the chandelier. Push you go, you calling me vanilla. Too late to cry, when I be cooling hands. Only man die, not only man bury him. You left the star and the chandelier. Nobody can see the future. Why you so hold
Alright, Manaki doing Chandelier, and this is still Melody Sunrise on Melody 100.7 FM. It is now 8:30 from the studios, and it is time for the sports crew to take you through the world of sports. I've got Daniel in the studios, and I have Fortune in the studios as well. My name is Bolabad. By the way, a beautiful morning to you guys.
Morning, Bolabad. How are you doing today?
Fine. You don't feel cold, right?
Truman, don't tell me that. I'm feeling it.
No, you're not.
Freezing. Yeah.
You don't look like. Fortune, are you feeling cold?
Oh well, there's no time I don't feel cold.
He's always cold.
I'm the champion for weather for two, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
We're back to this.
I've never seen the number 2 person.
No, we're back to this weather for two thing. Anyway, so that we're taking you through the world of sport. What's going on? I know we were talking about what's it called now? Yesterday, the Club World Cup.
Definitely.
And how Manchester United
saga. I don't know if you've gotten that. Sia.
What's up with him?
Coming out to say someone bribed him $50,000 to let him play, talking about
Mikel Obi. I mean, our own.
Yeah, we've got a clip. We'll play for you guys. A lot happening.
Now I'm back, or back then? Was it now?
I mean, back I think 2008.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the question. I've actually heard of, rumors or speculations about people talking how hard it is to actually get on even the under 17 team.
List.
And, it was considered like a necessity back then that you have to bribe your way.
You have to know somebody.
You have to know somebody.
I don't think it's back then. It still happens now.
So why is Sia making it a big deal, or he wants to be called out as
actually,
well?
it's been something between Sia and Mikel Obi, because Mikel Obi was the first to come out to say that he paid a flight bill for the Super Eagles for a trip to for one game like that, and Sia came out to say no, he didn't actually pay the flight bill. He only paid for the hotel.
Okay, wait, question. This. Do not play for 5 by people. Potato. What is the difference?
I don't understand. So now he's coming out to say, okay, since Mikel wants to do it, let's do it. Mikel bribed him.
Okay, did he collect the bribe or not?
So we say Mikel is here to come out. Mikel is here to come out.
So here's the thing: did he or did he not collect? Didn't he collect the bribe?
And the funniest part is he's a man that actually he has a bad reputation. FIFA banned him for 2 years.
You understand? So Sia coming out to say that
Sia is coming out. I mean, I don't know what he's doing.
What I think when it comes to Africans, when it comes to Nigerians, we first think with our anus before we eventually start thinking with our.
Okay, so that's my own cue to step out of the studio.
I was going to say.
Anyway, they'll be taking you through the world of sports. Stick around. I'll be back to the microphone about 8:50. Don't move a muscle.
Don't get it twisted. It's time to talk sport. It's Melody 100.7 FM, and of course, this is Melody Sunrise. This is the sports segment. In the next 20 minutes or so, we'll be giving you just a brief from around the world of sport. I'll be doing it alone this morning. You've heard the man's voice. He's been away for a while, maybe under the weather. So the man is back. Fortune Hogba, let them know you're here.
Yeah, good morning everyone. Good morning sports lovers. Good morning lovers of Melody FM. Yeah, I've been a bit under the weather, but I'm back now and it's good to talk about sports this morning.
You had the man right there. He's back and stronger. He's back and better. And you know, yesterday we told you, of course, during the cruise, we tried to play you the audio of that news we brought in as a breaking news yesterday. Don't forget, when we were on cruise yesterday, the news was about a breaking news about maybe 35 minutes old that time. But now it's been over, maybe let's say over some 8-9 hours. There has been reactions from everywhere. I'm talking about the Samson Siasia and Mikel Obi's allegation, the $50,000 saga. I tried to play you guys the audio yesterday, but it wasn't going through. But don't worry, I got it right here this morning. And the next voice you'll be hearing now, I want you to listen to it very well, because it will be the voice of the man called Samson Siasia.
Agent called that Mikel cannot come. And Mikel wasn't the starter in Chelsea then. It was the bench. It wasn't the starter. And I told him, we only have one game against Ghana to play. Please, come and help me. Be like, that was it. I said, if he doesn't come, he won't go anywhere. So Mikel refused to come. Like, he's playing in Chelsea. We went to Ghana. We didn't draw, right? They brought Asamoah Gyan, everybody came. If you needed that win, nothing happened. They failed, and then they 0-0 qualified. The Olympics, Mikel wants to come and play. His agent said he will give me 50,000 euros to come and play. I said, okay, it's not about 50,000 euros. He didn't pay to qualify. So I will take out someone that qualified us and bring you in. No, even you go anywhere, you don't go work for you. Because the team will not go anywhere because you are doing the wrong thing. People that play to qualify should go.
I'm in Fortune Hogba. You've heard me speaking for many people this morning. Of course, it's going to be your opinion at the end of the day. You had the man right there. That's Samson Siasia. Samson Siasia right here is a man actually that has a history with fever. It was a time he was actually sanctioned and he was placed on a ban for 4 years. But later he, appealed the ban and then he got a reduced sentence, which was 2 years. And the same Samson Siasia is coming out to say Mikel Obi at one time tried to bribe his way into the team for the Olympics. Let's start from the angle of bribery as a way, as a thing in our system, not just in politics, but I think generally we see bribery as something that happens very, very frequent. How do you think that? What do you think we can do to stop this?
Well, yes, good morning.
All right, I've just been told that you didn't get the voice very well. The insult I just played, of course, of Samson Siasia. In case you missed it, I'm going to repeat it, of course, because that is what this morning show is going to be all about. And then we talk about the Club World Cup. And when we come in the evening, we talk extensively on it. So I will repeat it again. Because you need to hear this. You need to hear it. I made a promise yesterday and I must keep my hand off the bargain. Let's listen to Samson Siasia's allegation of Mikel Obi. Yeah.
That Mikel cannot come. And Mikel wasn't the starter in Chelsea then. It was the bench. It wasn't the starter. And I told him, we only have one game against Ghana to play. Please. Come and help us to play that game. And that was it. I said if he doesn't come, he won't go anywhere. So Mikel refused to come. That he said he's playing in Chelsea. We're going to Ghana. We needed a draw, right? They brought Asamoah Gyan. Everybody came. They needed that win. Nothing happened. Played very well. At the end of the day, 0-0 qualified. Going to the World Cup, the Olympics. Mikel wants to come and play. His agent said he will give me 50,000 euros that you come and play. I said, okay, it's not about 50,000 euros. You didn't play to qualify. So I will take out someone that qualified us and bring you in. No, it never will happen. Man. Even you go anywhere, it never will work for you. Because the team won't go anywhere because you are doing the wrong thing. People that play to qualify should go.
Okay, I believe this time around you got it. And now that's it. What's your comment? What do you want to say about it, Samson Siasia?
Well, like I was trying to say before, while Bolabad was still in the studios, sometimes I think that most Africans, most Nigerians would like to think from our anus before we start thinking with our brains. I mean, this is someone who has a history of having been charged with match fixing some time ago, bribery and all of that, and then you are coming out again to talk to say that actually someone.
But we actually all do know that this happens in Nigerian football. Players always find a way of getting themselves into the team.
At the end of the day, sometimes. So why is this coming up now?
Okay. That's the question. Yes, why is it coming up? Why is it taking so much time?
Doesn't it reek of immaturity? Doesn't this think of immaturity? Why are you bringing this up right now? We're trying to patch this thing that is this bag, this shoe, this cloth that's torn so bad. They're trying to manage it. What with the favor of Philly Saga,
it has started since
gift and all
the
of that.
favor of Philly Saga.
And then we are trying to patch all of this, and then you are coming
and there seems to be not good one between the man and Mikel Obi.
Moreover, he that is coming out to say this right now. Is he trying to say he doesn't have any skeletons in his cupboard? I mean, he shouldn't be.
Actually, we did have a comment yesterday about it, and someone said, if I were Mikel, if I were say Samson Siasia, I'll be quiet. Because I said Mikel Obi is not the one that was banned by FIFA for 2 years.
Whoa.
And of course, if he said, should everyone else start coming out? Because the guy that actually made the comments actually on a very big platform said, if people should start coming out,
exactly,
there won't be enough room to take them. I'm talking about something Siasia. But don't worry, when we come in the evening by 6 p.m. on the cruise, we're going to look into it. I mean, seriously speaking, I feel like it's something that actually deserves all the justice.
I just pray he has not shot himself in the foot, because there are other players who has done this, whose bribe he has accepted, and then he's coming out with this Mikel. Oh no!
Maybe that was what the person that made the comment is insinuating. Okay, let's go from there. Of course, to other stories today. Yesterday we saw the Club World Cup. Imagine, it wasn't a surprise to so many people, but Juventus, Real Madrid yesterday. Madrid managed to get away through just a lone goal. And Madrid are now in the quarterfinals of the FIFA Club World Cup. Was it a shocker?
No, before I come to that, I wanted to congratulate you. I mean, you saw this Garcia guy. You've always given him that edge that this guy can do.
Always believe in him.
Like you said that Kylian Mbappe coming back should not get him out of the team. And it's like Xabi listened to you. He fielded the guy and then he delivered. It was really nice. I mean, at a point, it seemed like it was going to be a kind of tough one. I saw it from the very beginning.
In the dicey way and Juventus way, all in the game.
But then, kudos to Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, he gave his first assist yesterday. It was beautiful. I mean, I'm rooting for this Real Madrid team. I mean, it's looking like Xabi
falling in love with them.
Xabi Alonso is beginning to get things together, and he has the stars all over there, the Vini Junior, the Mbappe. And come to think of it, I was seeing this news this one that is going to be a battle between the Bellingham brothers.
But unfortunately, the Bellingham brothers battles won't be happening, because yesterday, Joe Bellingham picked a yellow card, which is the second yellow card of the tournament. So he will be missing the Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund game.
That would have been interesting.
And that also take us to the Borussia Dortmund's match that was played in the early hours of today. It ended 2-1 in favor of Borussia Dortmund. And of course, Monterrey is out of the tournament already, thanks to 2 goals from, of course, Gozore. That's the African guy there doing great for Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund has a thing for actually producing strikers that are very, very good. Now, when we come to Friday, the first game in the quarterfinals will be between Fluminense and Al Hilal. And of course, on Saturday, we will see Chelsea take on Palmeiras. And on Sunday, we will see, of course, Bayern Munich take on PSG. And then we will see Borussia Dortmund take on Real Madrid. It's beginning to look like an all-European side now. We have 5 European teams now, 2 South American teams, and of course, how is it going to look? How do you think the final of the FIFA Club World Cup will shape?
I think we are looking at something that seems more like the final right now when it comes to this Bayern Munich and PSG game. That's going to be
because Chelsea is the only team now that is European team on the other side. Of the table,
and obviously they are making it to the semi-finals because
you think Chelsea can defeat Al Hilal?
No, not Al Hilal. Is it Al Hilal or Palmeiras?
Because they defeat Palmeiras, which is going to be another huge one for them. You think?
They'll defeat those
so you think Chelsea can go all the way to the final?
Yes, I'm already rooting for them. They should get to the final. I mean, they've already killed slayed the Giants. But the game I'm looking forward to very much now is this Real Madrid Dortmund game, and of course Bayern PSG. I'm looking at Bayern PSG. The way PSG have been coming out, it seems like something is really cooking.
They're actually giving us Champions League before Champions League starts.
My goodness, this is going to be interesting. I mean, I see them eventually winning this, but against the Bayern side that boasts of
you mean your favorite to win this is PSG?
Yeah, I would have given it to them, but I'm scared. But if they can go through the hurdle of Bayern, Bayern poses a very serious threat. When you have the Hurricanes who have been doing so well, scored over 40, assisted a lot, and then you have our okay, let me not call him but then you have the guy there, Olise, who has been delivering as well. You think it's going to be a very tough one for PSG, but I give it to them. If they can get over Bayern Munich, then they will defeat Chelsea eventually and become the winners.
All right, before we go this morning,
and also on the Dortmund Real Madrid game, I see if they could do away with Juventus, I don't think Dortmund should be.
Dortmund should be okay. Okay, a breaking news this morning. Arsenal fans would like to hear this, that Arsenal are moving closer, of course, to a deal with Sporting Lisbon striker Victor Gyökeres. The 27-year-old has told, of course, his club that he wants to join the Gunners, and right now personal terms agreed, but still mountain to climb on the club-to-club agreement. And of course, let's go to Manchester United transfer stories.
I don't think Arsenal fans should be excited about that, because that's how we heard about Benjamin Sesko, and then.
But this one is actually going to happen,
so,
because the
Liverpool also, I've also been coming for this guy, and you know the way Liverpool go with their sports, with their transfers and all of that. They don't waste time in getting players. So I think Arsenal fans should just chill and relax, because it's not going to happen.
All right, okay, let's go from there to Man United. This last story before we call it a day. Manchester United, of course, have offered Douglas Luiz and of course Dusan Vlahovic and Tim Weah in a swap deal for Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho must leave by all means, and that's Man United trying everything they can. But don't you worry about a thing. When we come by 6 p.m. on the cruise, there will be in-depth analysis into all of these stories, and let them know you're leaving now.
Well, it was nice talking sports this morning, but just a quick one. If Manchester United are going to let go of Jadon Sancho, definitely not for the likes of Dusan Vlahovic and what's his name again, Douglas Costa. Come on, but then it's all good. When we come back in the evening, we'll dissect all of this.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Don't you worry. When we come in the evening by 6 p.m. on the cruise, we'll talk about it. Let's go now over to the rest of Melody Sunrise.
All right, so we'll be heading back to the music. I mean, we have to, and by 9 a.m. we'll be checking out a conversation centered around, Polytechnic Ibadan and its student and what they did yesterday. Okay, you didn't quite catch it or you did not get it. We'll talk about everything and I'll take your reactions. But in the meantime, here is Benson doing No Spoil My Steez. Stick around, keep it locked, don't go anywhere.
No shit. I gotta go leave that guy alone, my baby. You know I know my this. And me not when you baby, no fan no shit. Oh play, I say don't get, dance so don't play. I've been online since Monday. Okay, we love Bombay. Boys go display. I need to go around the road there. See my jeans. Compassion care body. Better not spoil my steez. Better not spoil my steez. Better not spoil my steez. My steez, my steez. Spoil my steez. This is my jeans. I'm fucking up. Compassion care body. Better not spoil my steez. 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 Please, my Jesus, call me, please believe it. As a local shit, I go for no reason. Unless I got him, I need it. You can tell the difference. Now come online with them, see. Back in our subscription, kill a fashion. Let's be all Asian. I'm a girl, I'm a fashion, me, I'm shaking. I'm killing lady. Let's be all Asian. Chant the Lord, I'm only my bank. Let me down one big counselor. Now I am not fit for and see my jeans. Compassion care body. Better not spoil my steez. Better not spoil my steez. Better not spoil my steez. My steez, my steez. Spoil my steez. This is my jeans. I'm fucking up. Compassion care body. Better not spoil my steez. Better not spoil my steez. Better not spoil my steez. Better not spoil my steez.
Melody FM 100.7.
There's no gimmicking around here, okay? So I
can see you like it. Your control of my body like a psychic. As I get, baby, never see you coming. That motorcycle better keep it running for me. I'm 2 steps ahead of you, you know that I wanna keep you close. So I let you take control, cause it makes you happy. You know go be, but still you know see I can take care of you. But I wanna puppet show, just keep me happy. Your loving over, yeah. Your loving over me. I want it over, yeah. I want it over again. Your loving over, yeah. Your loving over me. I want it over, yeah. Can't take control of me. Speaking tongues like what I live. Speaking tongues like what I live. I can feel you like I can see you like it. Your control of my body like a psychic. As I get, baby, never see you coming. That motorcycle better keep it running for me. I'm 2 steps ahead of you, you know that I wanna keep you close. So I let you take control, cause it makes you happy. You know go be, but still you know see I can take care of you. But I wanna puppet show, just keep me happy.
This is a journey into music and sound.
Hey people, this is Aramide.
What's up? My name is J1.
Yo, my name is K-Switch Center.
Credible right here.
Hey yo, this is LKT.
Hey football on yeah. Hi, my name is Niniola.
Hi, Abasa Conte, the Paramount King of Music.
Yeah, one of my people, they call me Q-Dog.
It is your favorite boy, Sean Teaser.
It's your boy, Seriki Omowo.
And yo, it's your boy, Jide Crystal. And you're listening to Melody 100.7 FM. Don't touch that dial. It's absolute music on 100.
Don't go nowhere, cause I love you.
Let's go.
Just tune to Melody 100.7 FM. Still cool with Melody.
Sometimes I know it, sometimes I don't know how to show it, but somewhere at the back of your mind, I hope that you know that I love every single moment with you. Sometimes I say it, but sometimes I don't know how to show it, but somewhere at the back of your mind, I hope that you know that I love every single moment with you. Before loving you do a letter, the kind love where we go remember, the kind love where you know fi end up. Yeah, make you do me tender, take me to Kenya, tell me na kubenda, close to my heart like a pendant. Baby mo pe sorry, money mo pe sorry. You toxic, I like it like that. If you call my line, I'm calling right back. Tell me what you wanna do tonight. I'm free tonight. I wanna be with you tonight. And even when I did doubt them, even when I am still in denial, not only you they light up my fire, not only you I desire. But sometimes I don't know how to show it, but somewhere at the back of your mind, moments with you. Sometimes I say it, but sometimes I don't know how to show it. But somewhere at the back of your mind, I hope that you know that I love every single moment with you.
What I do to let you know I feel inside for you. Inside for you. Can you feel the love inside? Can you my back and forth, back and forth, so love.
Back and forth, you and I. We could be so much more, yeah. Shit, baby, my shit, baby, go back and forth, so yeah. I wanna show. And even when I did out down, even when I am still in denial, now only you they light up my fire. Now only you I desire. But sometimes I don't know how to show it. But somewhere at the back of your mind, I hope that you know that I love every single moment with you. Sometimes I say
Melody FM 100.7. From Melody 100.7 FM, Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. The time is 9 a.m.
Alright, it is now 2 minutes past 9 a.m. and we are back to it. It is still Melody Sunrise on Melody 100.7 FM. It is now time for the People's Assembly. We are live inside of the People's Assembly. If you're listening for the first time, the People's Assembly is like a parliament. Where we'll bring conversations and then we talk about them. Okay, my name is Bolabad. I'll be serving as, the what's it called now? The chief speaker of the house for today. So there's a conversation that we'll be looking at today, and you, on the other hand, contributing are the honorable of this house. So when you call in, put it out the back of your mind that you are an honorable. So when you're introducing yourself, you're saying, my name is Honorable this, and your location is your constituency, because I've come to realize that when people calling, especially first-time callers, and I call them honorables, they was like, oh, I'm not an honorable. It is the People's Assembly, and when you are calling in this house, you are an honorable. Okay, so we do this every weekday from 9 to 9:30 on Melody Sunrise, and the conversation for today, we are not going beyond the shores of Ibadan at all. Okay, as a matter of fact, we're pitching our tent around Songo Eleyele Road, and and particularly the Polytechnic Ibadan. Yesterday, the Polytechnic Ibadan students actually protested the renaming of their institution after ex-governor Omololu Olunloyo. Now, the students of the Polytechnic Ibadan on Tuesday yesterday staged a protest at the Oyo State Government Secretariat, rejecting the decision to rename the institution after the former governor. Now, they carried placards with various inscriptions. The students urged Governor Seyi Makinde to reverse the move and retain the institution's original name. They argued that the Polytechnic's identity and legacy are globally recognized and should not be altered. Led by Student Union Government SUG President Olamide Oladipupo, the protesters emphasized that while they respected the late statesman, renaming the Polytechnic would undermine its heritage. Now, Governor Seyi Makinde, if you recall, announced the name change on June 26, 2025 during the Olunloyo's funeral at the Obafemi Awolowo Stadium in Ibadan, the state capital. Olunloyo, who passed away on April 6, 2025, was the institution's first principal and briefly served as Oyo State Governor in 1983. In honor of Baba, the Polytechnic will now be known as Omololu Olunloyo Polytechnic Ibadan. That was the statement of the governor, that is Governor Seyi Makinde, verbatim. He declared that on June 26th, right? He's praising Olunloyo's legacy as a scholar, a technocrat, and a statesman. However, the decision has sparked backlash, echoing similar controversies over recent renaming of institutions across Nigeria, and moves to rename the University of Abuja as Yakubu Gowon University and the University of Lagos as Moshood Abiola University have also faced a widespread opposition from students and alumni, as well. So we are going to be talking about two things, right? Are the students right for protesting against the name change, thereby blocking the roads and also disrupting economic activities yesterday? Because there were reports that the Songo road was totally blocked. I think they moved from Songo down to the secretariat yesterday. It was a large movement, and they were protesting against the name change. Is what they're doing, is it right? Aside from the protest, right? Them protesting against the name change and the physical protest that held yesterday, is that the right way to go about it? On the flip side, is the governor or renaming, the Polytechnic Ibadan after so many years, after, the ex-governor, in person of ex-governor Omololu Olunloyo, though he had significant impact, aside from the fact that it was just a statesman or, an ex-governor, he was the first principal of the Polytechnic Ibadan. And, it just actually shows that he has ties with Polytechnic Ibadan, not just the fact that, he was just an ex-governor, right? So do you think changing the name to Omololu Olunloyo Polytechnic Ibadan is the right step in the right direction? Or you think the students are right, like the institution should retain its name? Also, the way the student went about the protest yesterday, do you think that is the right thing, or that was the right thing for them to do? 07055 071 007, 07055 071 007, or 07025 201 007, 07025 201 007, or 07055 071 007. I'll play you excerpts from the protest yesterday, and I'll be expecting your calls. Let me know what your thoughts are. The protest yesterday, shutting down the roads and movement, was that the right step? Or do you think protesting at all against the name change is the good thing to do? Or do you think that the governor should reconsider and shouldn't have named the Polytechnic after the ex-governor and the first principal of the said polytechnic, which is the Polytechnic Ibadan. Stick around and take a listen. You could hear chants of them saying OPL no no, and that was the excerpt from the protest that took place yesterday. The student of Polytechnic Ibadan actually took to the street to protest against the name change of the institution. You recall that the governor Sheyi Makinde named the Polytechnic Ibadan after the ex-governor Omololu Olunloyo at the ex-governor's funeral that took place last month, June 26th, 2025. Now, what is your take? Do you think it is the right thing to do, or do you think the students are right saying revert, should I say reverse the decision and let's revert to our name, which is the Polytechnic Ibadan, instead of the Omololu Olunloyo Polytechnic? What is your take on all of this? Do you think the governor should reverse it, or do you think the students should just suck it up and just take it? 07055 071 007 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. I'm also asking if the way at which the students actually went about the protest, blocking the road and disrupting economic activities yesterday, was the right way to go about the protest as well, or to go about expressing their grievances. 07055 071 007 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. Those are the numbers to either call me up on this morning or send messages to. You can also text me via WhatsApp 07055 007 That is the WhatsApp line, 07055 071 007. You can call that number or call me up on 07025 201 007 07025 201 007. You can also head on to Facebook and drop your comment live on Facebook. Melody 100.7 FM is our handle on Facebook. That is the Facebook handle. So drop your comments, let me know what your take is or what your thoughts are. 07055 071 007. We're looking at the students protesting against the renaming of their their institution, which is the Polytechnic Ibadan, yesterday, as against the OOPL, that is Omololu Olunloyo Polytechnic, that has been proposed or has been renamed to that took place last month. Okay, yesterday was the 1st of July, and the students took to the streets to actually expressed their grievance and displeasure with the renaming of their institution. Do you think it is the right way to go about it, protesting and taking to the road, first off? Or do you think that the governor shouldn't have renamed the institution to begin with? Hello, good morning. Good morning, Honorable. Your name and where you're calling from? Good to have you on the show this morning. What is your take?
Okay. In my own view, I feel honor should be given to whom it is due. So the governor didn't rename a particular facility or with the name of the late governor, but rather coming to recognize him as the first rector of that school. I think it really goes far. Then on the other hand, for the students, I would have just thought that since the renaming of the school will not affect the academical activities and the state government taking responsibilities of all that is necessary for them and their lecturers and everyone in the school there, then I think they should just face their studies and do what is needful instead of going around protesting. So I believe this is a matter of political whatever. Be it now or later. Any other government that comes after Governor Sheyi, if he or she feels that this renaming of the institution is not right, I believe they can rename the school with whatever name they feel should be done. So that's my opinion.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable, for calling. Have a great day ahead. Hello, good morning, Honorable.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Honorable?
Miriam from Odegbai.
Good to have you on the show, Honorable Miriam from Odegbai constituency. Let's have your take.
So as regards the renaming of the Polytechnic of Ibadan, to me, it's not a bad idea. But I think the government should have consulted the stakeholders. But still, I believe we will consider the students' request. And as we all know that the government always prioritize the people. So I believe this time around, we will not disappointed.
All right, thank you so much. Good morning to you too. Hello, Honorable.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Honorable. Your name and where you're calling from?
This Honorable Ruth calling from Alakia constituency.
Good to have you on the show, Honorable Ruth.
Thank you,
yes, let's have your thoughts.
Thank you. The naming of the Polytechnic Ibadan after the late Omololu, people want to know. Because we have seen some institutions being renamed after some heroes across the country. So which I'll just stay with the governor to review the request of the students. Because I believe he is the people's governor. That's my contribution.
Thank you. Thank you so much. 07055 071 007 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. Those are the numbers to call me upon this morning. We're looking at the Polytechnic Ibadan situation. The student of Polytechnic Ibadan took to the streets yesterday protesting against the name change of the institution by the governor, President of Governor Sheyi Makinde. That happened on June 26th, 2025. They blocked the road from Songo down to the secretariat yesterday, and they were chanting, carrying placards, and saying no to the new name, which is OOPL. That is Omololu Olunloyo Polytechnic. So let me know what your take is. Do you think the governor should reverse it? Do you think he should consider them? Do you think that it is the right step in the right direction, what the students are doing, protesting against the name change, and how they went about it? Do you think it was the right thing to do, blocking the roads and blocking, or should I say disrupting economic activities? What is your take? 07055 071 007 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. You can head also to Facebook. We're live on Facebook at Melody 100.7 FM and drop your comment. What is your take regarding this whole situation? Do you think the governor should reconsider, or do you think the student should just accept the name change? 07055 071 007 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. It's 19 minutes after 9 a.m. and we would be wrapping this conversation up in a little bit. Okay, so now is the time to call me up or send messages. You can text me also via WhatsApp on 07055 071 007. WhatsApp line is 07055 071 007. You can call that number as well, or call me up on 07025 201 007. I'll play the excerpt from the protest again from yesterday. Take a listen. There you have it. It is 21 minutes past 9 a.m. Now is the time for you to call me up or send messages. Let me know what your take is. Is the protest the right step in the right direction? A beautiful morning to you, Honorable. Good morning, Honorable. Your name and where you're calling from. Good to have you on the show. So you were affected by the protest movement yesterday, no?
Not really.
Okay.
I passed through express.
Oh, okay. So let me have your thoughts. Is it the right step in the right direction, the protest, or should they just accept it?
In my own opinion, I think the governor renaming the Polytechnic Ibadan after the late governor's name is to immortalize the man's name. In my own opinion, is not a bad thing. Like Bolabad University, or Tomabi also.
Yes.
Ogun State University.
Yes.
Like University of Ife. Now.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I lost that call. Try calling me back. Also, you can call me up on 07055 071 007 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. Let me know what your take is or what your thoughts are regarding this conversation. Should the students be protesting the change of their institution or the name change of their institution at all? Or do you think the governor should go back on his decision renaming the institution the Omololu Olunloyo Polytechnic? Let's not forget that the late ex-governor Omololu Olunloyo was the first principal of the Polytechnic Ibadan. And so it is not just a case of, oh, it was an ex-governor, and that is why, the honor is being conferred on his name. He also had like strong ties with, the Polytechnic Ibadan. What is your take? Do you think the students are within their right to protest against the name change? Do you think the governor should rescind, or should I say reverse the decision to rename the Polytechnic? Or do you think that the student should just accept the name change and we can move forward? 07025 201 007. Hello, good morning, Honorable. Good morning, Honorable.
My name is Moses from Akpata.
Honorable Moses from Akpata constituency. Good to have you on the show.
I will say to my own contribution, I will probably say the Polytechnic Ibadan, if we are alumni of the Polytechnic Ibadan, you understand. The Polytechnic Ibadan is one of the best polytechnic around. So I don't know the reason why they rename this name just like that. Someone fine. Oluloyo is one of the first governors for what are they calling it, for the first governor in the state. That was then, and he has been named so many places. Like
it was also the first rector. It was also the first rector of Polytechnic Ibadan. Hope you know that.
It was the first rector. Fine, he has been named one of the roads in Akoron side. Oluloyo Akoron. So the Polytechnic Ibadan should stand. Let it stand. You cannot go to University Ibadan. I'll be telling University Ibadan they want to change them to somebody's name. Doesn't stand okay.
Okay.
You can go to Birmingham. Can you go to Birmingham and say Birmingham belongs to Michael Collins Birmingham University? No, let the name stand. Let's know what the name stands for. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Moses. Let me know what your take is. 07055 071 007. Hello, good morning, Honorable.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, this is Honorable Adamgala calling back.
Okay, good to have you back. All right, so let's have your thoughts.
So I think the governor wanted to immortalize the name of the late governor. That is the reason why he went ahead to rename the Polytechnic after him. But we should also consider those that went to that school and those that are still there. They are saying they don't want that name, that they want the name to remain. So I'll just ask the governor to please look at their own, agitations so that it can, finally arrive at the best solution.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, Honorable, for calling 07055 071 007, 07055 071 007, or 07025 201 007. Let's quickly go through comments on social media, but you can still call me up. It is 9:27. We're wrapping up the conversation in about 2 more minutes, and we can call it a day. All right, so this one is from Miss Juliet. Says, I remember when they tried to rename Unilag to Moshood Abiola University, we no grill. Okay, so there is also what's the code? Okay, another University of Lagos, student saying, Sheikh's mayor saying, now so they won't change Unilag to Moshood Abiola University, Maulag. What is already Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, no? Okay, moving on from that comment, there is Aniolua, okay, saying, Aniolua, okay, I pronounced that one correctly. Well, necessarily right. Why change the school's name after him? On what ground, please? Egbosheyi Eloshorayu. Okay. 07055 071 007, 07055 071 007, or 07025 201 007, 07025 201 007, or 07055 071 007. There's Shafi saying renaming the institution doesn't make any sense. As an Ibadan indigene, I do not support renaming the institution. Mr. Governor, rest. Now everything you go change. If every governor does this, what do you think will happen? 07055 071 007 07055 071 007 or 07025 201 007. All right, so there is Focus. That is Focus Tayo. Okay, that is spelled. Okay, Tayo. Focus Tayo says, why even renaming all institutions to someone's name? You can just name a whole or department after the person instead. Nigerian politicians know just okay. So that is it for me on the People's Assembly for this morning. I'll be heading back to the music, and do not forget by 9:30 we would be talking about everything that has to do with cars with the mechanic in the studios between 9:30 and 9:45. Okay, and by 9:45 it will be time to look at Melody Surprise. But in the meantime, here is Joe Boy doing Contour. Stick around.
The way you go to straight Contour. No, they carry me play Contour. No, they carry me play. Mind is dirty. Feel like I go reach my soul with fella putty. Feel like you go reach yourself and fall your pussy. Shit is messy. Bad energy don't plenty. It don't plenty. Inside now, yeah, sit down. Why even if I know they for up? Why I do that? Change your for up. Oh man, see now, but you take 1 second to change your bed. Change your bed. Like a let you go start again. Your way you don't too straight to go. Sorry, when I dey watch you for my corner, I look away. I dey join my happy water. I know what your story. I know they like to share my chatter, but inside now, yeah, I sit down, waiting for the fact, no day for that. I had to love, change your for that. All my sin, but you think 1 second to change your way, change your face. Like your day, you gon' start again. What the hell, so your way you not too straight to talk. You dey carry me
All right, your boy doing Contour, and this is Melody Sunrise on Melody 100.7 FM. We're now live inside of the Mechanics Lounge, and I've got Mechanic Shubami in the studios with me. Beautiful morning to you.
Wonderful morning here.
Hey, you didn't see codes today.
Cool they catch.
Hey, God. God, I beg. All right, so we'll be looking at, we're looking at something really interesting today, actually. He's telling me now that he's going to be lecturing the technicians in the house. Right?
Yes,
okay.
Something like that.
Okay. So, yeah.
But it's not only the technicians, even the car owners too can still benefit.
Actually, when I was saying that, so they can call and ask you questions about something that probably at some point the mechanics told them and didn't really make a lot of sense to them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if that has ever happened to you before, your mechanic said something and you're like, No, no. Like yesterday,
Okay.
a friend of mine was actually lamenting. So I was just like, what's wrong with? He said he's tired. Like he said the shaft of his car
Okay.
makes a lot of noise, and then he's taking it to the mechanic. They've
Okay.
actually changed it,
Okay.
and like that will be the third time.
They're changing it.
No, that they are working on it.
Did they change it?
Yes, they took it back to where they got the part, and it still hasn't.
It's still, the noise is still there.
Yes.
Then the question is, what type of noise are we talking about? Is it
Okay.
normal
Me, I did not ask. You know, it's not my jurisdiction. Me, it was just lamenting. I was like,
And
what's
you
your
just
problem?
listen,
No, yeah, that's like, no, because it was like he dropped something on his WhatsApp station saying he was going to kill his mechanic. I don't kill somebody. Kill Leto. He said that'll be the third time. He would actually be taking the car back to the mechanic and everything. So for someone like that has actually been frustrated to that point, if you've been in that shoes before, you can always call us, and then we can talk about it. Therapist for today is in session. Thank you. All right, over to you.
Are you sure you want to go into that therapy session?
That's if they call in.
There are some problems when they start like this. Even yourself go look for therapy. You know when therapists they look
we
for
will
therapy.
refer you. You will come to our office. You will come to our garage. Don't worry. We got you. 100. So if we can't complete the therapy session here, we take it to the garage.
We take it off air.
Yes, we take off it. But by we is only mechanic Shibomu.
I thought you said we. How can one person be we?
So the studio lines are 07055 071 007 07055 071 007 or 07025 007, just in case you've actually had an encounter with your technician saying something or having a recurring issue with your car that won't just go away, and you've actually taken it to your mechanic over and over. Let us know. Call us up. Mechanic Shibomi is here to the rescue. All right, so let's start with the lecture that I want to lecture technicians.
Well, we started since Monday.
Okay.
This is just a continuation.
Okay,
we talked about steps and the guidelines to take in trying to verify a fault, know the fault, fix it, and also check if that problem has been fixed.
Okay.
On this program, we've talked about onboard diagnostics, where we have a system on the vehicle that does itself for a form of self-monitoring. But this time, we are talking about off-board diagnostics,
all right,
where it is the technician that does the monitoring, that makes sure after communicating with the vehicle computer to know what the fault the vehicle computer has stored, he now begins to take those steps. Okay, it starts from we itemized it. Okay, and then the acronym for it was VAIDCC. Okay, verify the complaint, analyze, isolate, determine, then check and correct.
Okay.
VAIDCC. So it's all about verifying the customer's complaint. That is if the customer, like your friend that said, is actually has that sound issue with the shaft. Okay. The first thing the technician has to do is to verify. Okay. Know the sound we are talking about.
Okay.
Because as a technician, we could be hearing a different sound. Okay. Apart from what the owner of the car is actually hearing. Okay, so you have to make sure, this is what you are talking about. This is the sound you are talking about. Okay, because to be honest, there are some cars you drive them and it's not only Fuji's the car is singing anymore. It's actually doing a little bit of Afrobeats here and there.
And percussion.
And the customer is particular about the Fuji sound, not the Afrobeat sound. Okay, so you have to make sure you guys are on the same page. This is the sound you're talking about. Yes, but it can also at that point tell the customer or point out to the customer that yes, this is a sound that we both know is there, but there are other things there too. Ideally, we should rectify everything, but maybe because of costs and financial constraints, okay, you might want to say, you know what, can we just do this? And then maybe if it's possible to segment the repairs,
yes,
and say, okay, let's just do this to isolate this sound.
This one is more pressing.
Okay, then a couple of weeks later,
we can work on this
to isolate this one, to rectify this one too. So if that works, fine. But that is the first thing you need to do.
Okay.
two of you you have to be on the same page. Then the second one, like I said, there's a I analyze. Oh, we know what the sound we are looking for. Why or when does this sound come up? Okay, is it probably when I go into portal or just all the time? Then try and isolate what the issue is.
Okay.
Now, isolation of the issue when it comes to sound, yes, it has to be you have to use your visual content.
For some people, it's when they change their gear that sounds come up.
Yes. So you have to know exactly when. Okay. Then you have to isolate where the noise is coming from.
Okay.
The area. Then after isolating where the area is coming, the area where the noise is coming from, you can now determine the path.
Okay.
That is the culprit. Yes. Then after that, it's quite simple. You either do two things. You either replace or you repair. Okay. And once that one has been done, you've replaced it or you've repaired it. You now do the last C, which is to check if the noise is longer there.
Okay.
Okay. That is for noise. But you can also apply the same process for any type of fault you find on the car.
Okay.
Even if it's electrical. Okay. It's quite simple. Verify. This is what the customer is complaining about. Okay, perfect. We're on the same page. Then analyze. When does it happen? 5 minutes after starting the car, this building is triggered. And the analyzing and the isolating, when it comes to electrical repair or parts of the cars that are monitored, then you can now plug in your scanner to run a scan. There's so many information you can get on. It's the diagnosis tool, which we call the scanner, when trying to analyze this fault. It's you have so many data there that you can sift through to know, oh, this is what I'm looking at, this is what I need to get, or this is when this issue is happening. There's what we call freeze frame. Okay, now we've said it before. When a fault occurs, the system monitors it, sees there's an anomaly, sees there's a fault, then it stores the faults under the corresponding fault code. When it's storing that fault, there's what we call a freeze frame.
Okay.
That it also stores with the fault. Now the freeze frame is a snapshot.
Okay.
Okay, of all the sensor readings when that fault is being stored.
Okay.
Okay. So he's seen it. Oh, there's a particular fault here. First trip, second trip, he sees it. At the point when he's flagging it, it's like he's taking a snapshot of all the sensor readings. So, as a technician, you can go back to that fault and take a look at the freeze frame.
Reassess it.
Yes. Now, that freeze frame tells you a lot of information. You pick the ones you need.
Aha.
Okay, you pick the ones you need.
So,
it's a little bit of data analysis.
Okay.
Okay. When it tells you, when this thing happened, the vehicle speed is this.
Okay.
The engine temperature is at this.
Okay.
The amount of air coming in, which is from the MAF, is this. The temperature of the air coming in is this.
Okay.
It gives you all those information. So that lets for you to try and sift through this information to be able to apply or get out the ones you need.
Okay.
There's also what we call data streaming. You can also do that via your scanners. Data streaming is when you get to see live sensor readings via the scanner. You can also use that to analyze and isolate where the issue is coming from.
Okay.
So, for example, let's say perhaps you run a scan and realize it's flagging a wheel speed sensor.
Okay.
Okay, probably the front right, which is the passenger side in front. You can do a data stream of all the wheel speed sensors to actually confirm if truly that front right is not working.
Okay.
At that point, you pick all those sensors, the wheel speed of all those sensors, and you begin to drive the car. Okay, and you see the values of those sensors changing corresponding to the vehicle speed. If the front right speed sensor is not changing or
that
is
means
static,
there's a problem.
that means truly you just confirmed. That means you just analyzed, isolated, and determined
what is wrong,
what that issue is. Then simple. You can either replace
or repair.
And again, once it's replaced and repaired, you plug in your scanner again to see
if it is actually working.
I mean, it's working. Hallelujah. We all go home.
And if it's not working,
and if it's not working, you kick it. Then if it's not working, you have to now take a step further.
Okay.
Now, sometimes it's not about the sensor itself. Sometimes the fault comes with the environment is actually monitoring. Okay, sometimes not about the sensors. So sometimes, still using that wheel speed sensor.
Wait, break it down. the environment.
Okay, yes.
Also plays a factor.
Yes, definitely. You know how they say sometimes raising a kid is not about the genealogy. Sometimes the environment where the kid is raised to also has an input.
But this is a canoe kid. So when you're saying environment, does it have to do probably, this is a cold environment?
No. Sorry. Okay, so let me rephrase. Let me rephrase.
Thank you.
It depends on the system that is monitoring.
Okay.
Or the components in the system that is monitoring.
Okay.
I'm still using that wheel speed sensor as an example. You have the wheel speed sensor is actually counting or measuring a two-third wheel. A wheel that has teeth all around, like a gear wheel. So that wheel is turning, and the wheel speed sensor, while generating magnetic pulses, which is electricity, okay, each time the teeth of the wheel passes in front of it, okay. Now, at times the teeth of the wheel is measured, it might be bent, might be eroded, or there's the metal filings that has bridged two teeth together. So at times these things do happen. Okay. And of course, it will flag it as that wheel speed sensor is not working. So if you change it and the fault is still there, then you know it has nothing to do with that sensor. It's that environment. Then you can now strip it down, bring out the two-third wheel, take a look at it. If it's that damage, you have to change the two-third wheel, put it back. Put your old sensor back to confirm that one is working. If it works, voila, that means you have to change the sensor.
Okay.
Use that two-third wheel. Then you move on.
Okay. All of this is making sense even to me that does not have any, a technical background. Okay, so what else do we have to look at before we wrap up today?
Before we wrap up, people erroneously think, when my car has faults, once I just run a scan like this, everything is set.
Sometimes scan can be scanning, and sometimes scan cannot be scanning. It depends.
So it's not about once I scan the car is okay. Scanning is just, like I've been explaining, it's just a step. It's just part of the diagnosis process. Okay. It helps in reducing the time of delivery. It helps in trying to say this one or that one, guessing game. It annuls that. It bridges a lot of gap. It cancels or brings down the time to deliver or time to repair a vehicle down to the BRS minimum. But scanning is not the almighty finisher.
Okay. So it is not like 100% solution
not.
part.
And also, it's not 100%. And also, it also comes down to the ability of the technician handling the scanner too, or the diagnostic tool too, because it's depth on how to navigate. Like I said, sometimes you have a lot of information there. The point, or the most important point, is can you pick the ones you want to solve that particular problem? Okay, so the ability of the technician to sift through data also sometimes matters. Okay, there are some technicians, there are some mechanics with their small scanner, they'll do wonders. And there are some, give them a 4.5 million naira scanner, and then it won't really make any difference.
Yes. Okay. So we're wrapping up the conversation. This is the month for our weekend classes.
Yes. So next week, by God's grace, is starting.
So you can still register.
Yes.
And this is just tip of the iceberg.
The Titanic.
But on a more serious note, this is just like a tip of the iceberg. You can literally learn a lot, by attending the class, the weekend class, to learn more about your cars, and as as a car owner, or even as a technician that wants to probably upgrade and see how you can use something like scanners. Some technicians have never heard of scanners before, and I'm not even capping, right? So you might just want to probably enroll yourself, invest in yourself, so you can be better and better serve your customers as well. So when does this come up? Next week? When? Next weekend?
Next weekend, not this one, the one.
Yeah,
after,
the one that is like
second weekend.
2 weekends from now. Okay. So that's it. So if you want to register for the class, you can put a call through to Employers Garage.
Yes.
And a mechanic will tell you what number to call now.
Yes. You can call 081 09 22 0338. 081 09 220338.
Okay, or you can just head straight if your way passes through. I want to go and check our guy, but I can tell you, you'll break. What for? Just put out there. Okay, so where's the address of the garage?
The garage is at number 3, Kolapa Remo Close, on Fabumi Street, Ashibodija, in Ibadan.
Okay, and don't worry. The class is affordable. It's something that you can afford. It lasts for how long?
For 6 weeks.
Okay.
6 weeks.
What for your
6
money?
weekends.
6 weekends.
Yes.
So if you are a busy person and you're always like, oh, that weekdays won't actually work, that you can go on weekends as well. So thank you so much, Mechanic Shubham, for making it down to the studios.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, we'll return on Friday with the Mechanics Lounge and we'll be doing the giveaway thingy. So yeah, hopefully you've been able to jot things down today and on Monday, and the results will come out on Friday, don't worry. Anyway, I'll be heading back to the music, but in the meantime you can now send me messages and let me know whom you want to celebrate today. It is Melody Surprise, so send messages, let me know the name of the person, the number of the person, your own name, what you're celebrating them for, and I'll be here to put a call through to them. In the meantime, here is Katy Perry doing Firework. Stick around.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, one blow from caving in? Do you ever feel already buried deep, 6 feet under screens and no one seems to hear a thing? Do you know that there's still a chance for you? 'Cause there's a spark in you. You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just on the night, like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you work. Make 'em go as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go you're gonna leave 'em all in You don't have to feel like a wasted space. You're original, cannot be replaced. If you only knew what the future holds. After a hurricane comes a rainbow. Maybe a reason why all the doors are closed, so you could open one that leads you to the perfect road. Like a lightning bolt, your heart will glow, and when it's time you'll know. You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just on the night, like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you work. Make 'em go
Katy Perry doing Firework, and that is it for me on the show this morning. It is 9:53 a.m. from the studios, and it is a wrap on the Melody Sunrise for today. But do not fret, we'll return tomorrow for another amazing edition of Melody Sunrise from 8 a.m. to 9:55. Do not forget, all right, make it a date with us. Our finest will be in the studios tomorrow to take you on that one, okay? So I'll return to Melody Sunrise on Friday morning. God keep us, okay? But in the meantime, like I always do say, do follow us across all socials. Get familiar. Follow us across all socials at Melody 100.7 FM. I'll take that again, Melody 100.7 FM. That is the handle across all social media platforms. But for me, if you want to link up with me across all socials, it is at Bolabad. That is BOLABAD. BOLABAD. That is the handle across all social media platforms for me personally. All right, so till Friday, I'll be coming your way again. I'll be signing out right now. Daniel is already in the studios. Alright, Luke comes up next by 10 a.m. But for now, this one is Poseidon doing Guarantee, and it is definitely a guarantee that once you stick with us, you get the best of broadcast from the station. All right, till tomorrow, till Friday. Have an amazing day ahead of you, and stay safe, stay dry. Guarantee by Poseidon coming through. Bye for now.
Gang, yeah, gang. Poseidon, yeah. I'm on loud.
Poseidon's music.
Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Time is running out, and I don't give you guarantee. Time don't wait for nobody. Just sharply move your body. Sharply move your body to me. Akoko laye, asiko laye truly. 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 You for me no dey lose card. Uptown girl no dey swunga. Fine boys no dey buga. See them beautiful girls from Makumba. I talk last bus stop Timothy J. Body way fresh, too classy, she need one bed. Tell me what you want, tell me what you need. Time is running out, and I go give you guarantee. Time don't wait for nobody, just sharply move your body. Sharply move your body to me. Akoko laye, asiko laye truly. 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 JJC, flexing gun is my way. Get belly guided, jackpot all the next day. Show up, no put me on your cruise. If you snooze, you go lose. Sweet life is what we choose. Hope you don't break the rules. Yeah. Tell me what you want.